George Lucas explains the Whills and Midichlorians and elaborates on the fans' response to it all. Hello there and welcome back to another video. For decades, Star Wars fans have argued that the Force should have remained unexplained, but George Lucas never saw it that way. In the Star Wars archives, George Lucas breaks down the Whills, Midichlorians, and the idea of balance that sits at the heart of the Force. I was going to put more about the Midichlorians and the Whills after episode 1, but everybody freaked out and said, "We don't like this, it's terrible," so I didn't. Also, I had an investment in the whole thing financially, so I was forced to relent because I knew it was self-indulgent. But I was very keen to have it be in the movies, and if I had gone on to the last 3, it would have all been explained there. The Whills are a microscopic single-celled life form like amoeba, fungi, and bacteria. There's something like 100,000 times more Whills than there are Midichlorians, and there's about 10,000 times more Midichlorians than there are human cells. The only microscopic entities that can go into the human cells are the Midichlorians. They are born in the cells. The Midichlorians provide the energy for human cells to split and create life. The Whills are single-celled animals that feed on the Force. The more of the Force there is, the better off they are. So they have a very intense symbiotic relationship with the Midichlorians, and the Midichlorians effectively work for the Whills. It is estimated that we have 100 trillion microbes in our body, and we are made up of about 90% bacteria and 10% human cells. So, who is in service to whom? I know this is the kind of thing that the fans just go berserk over because they say, "We want it to be mysterious and magical," and "You're just doing science." Well, this isn't science. This is just as mythological as anything else in Star Wars. It sounds more scientific, but it's a fiction. It's saying there is a big symbiotic relationship to create life and to create the Force, but if you look at all life forms in the universe, most of them are one-celled organisms. I think of one-celled organisms as an advanced form of life because they've been able to travel through the universe. They have their own spaceships, those meteorites that we get every once in a while. They've been living on those things for thousands of years. They've been frozen, unfrozen, and can survive almost anything. The one-celled organisms have to have a balance. You have to have good ones and bad ones, otherwise it would extinguish life. And if they go out of balance, the dark side takes over. The Force is split into two, the positive light side and the negative dark side. The dark side is very greedy and possessive. Greedy people want everything, and when they get everything, they're insecure, constantly afraid that somebody's going to take it away from them. Fear is the doorway to the dark side. If you're fearful, you're going to do bad things, and you end up in World War II with 85 million people being killed. If you keep that up, there won't be anybody left. If you're not afraid and you're willing to jump into the river to save the baby, regardless of the consequences, that's compassion. That's the good side of the Force. What George Lucas is really doing here isn't demystifying the Force. When fans hear words like microbes and cells, it sounds scientific, but Lucas is very clear. This is mythology, not biology. The Whills and Midichlorians aren't meant to reduce the Force to numbers. They exist to reinforce a central idea that runs through all of Star Wars: symbiosis. Life is not created by domination or control, but by balance. No single part is in charge. Everything exists in service to something else. That idea extends beyond the microscopic and into morality itself. The light side is built on compassion, selflessness, trust, and the willingness to act without fear. The dark side, by contrast, is defined by greed and possession. When George Lucas talks about this, he isn't presenting a metaphor. He's describing how he understands the Force to function. In his view, the dark side emerges when fear and possession begin to dominate behavior. The light side, by contrast, is associated with compassion and selflessness. This distinction is consistent with how the Force is portrayed throughout Star Wars. The discussion of the Whills and Midichlorians fits into this same explanation. They aren't introduced to make the Force more technical, but to describe the relationship between life and the Force itself. That's the context in which Lucas presents these ideas. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have been enjoying these videos as much as I have creating them. These are allowing me to create some really cool content while learning from the maker himself. If you're enjoying these videos, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Until next time, may the Force be with you, always.